Hello, I am Jason Howard in the Office of Assessment and Accountability's Division of Assessment and Accountability Support. I would like to welcome everyone to the Fall 2021 Back to School update specific to the alternate Kentucky Summative Assessment. Yes, that is a new name, as the K-Prep has been changed this year to the Kentucky Summative Assessment. To follow suit, the alternate K-Prep has also undergone a name change. Our focus today for this session will be on the alternate Kentucky Summative Assessment. As many of you are aware, the Kentucky Alternate Assessment Program makes up what is often referred to as the 1% population, or students with the most severe cognitive disabilities. That includes all components: placement, instruction, assessment, accountability, and transition. The alternate Kentucky Summative Assessment makes up the assessment for students via the Attainment Task and the Transition Attainment Record. So the first thing I want to discuss for the alternate Kentucky Summative Assessment are the changes that are coming this school year. Now, these plans are shared with the anticipation that they may be modified given the changing circumstances of the pandemic. Adjustments may be needed as COVID-19 outbreak conditions change. However, assuming none of that comes to pass, the first change I want to make you aware of is one that we have already discussed. As with our general assessment, the name of the alternate assessment has changed as well to mirror the general assessment. So starting with the 2021-2022 school year, the alternate K-Prep will be known as the alternate Kentucky Summative Assessment. Continuing along, the alternate assessment will return to a two-testing window format as it was prior to the pandemic. Although keeping one window was considered, the decision was made by pulling together groups of teachers, district assessment coordinators, and directors of special education from across the state for special ad hoc meetings with each respective group. With nearly unanimous support among all groups, all but one participant among all groups preferred two testing windows. Additionally, the alternate assessment advisory board voted unanimously to keep two testing windows rather than continue with one as we did in the spring of 2021. Also coming out of those groups was a decision to return student answer choices to landscape presentation rather than portrait. Answer choices will now be presented to students left to right, printed in landscape format to go along with the natural flow of reading. This was decided after all stakeholders noted in the ad hoc meetings that this was the natural way students read, and further, the way most content is taught within the classroom. Finally, this summer we worked with our partners at UK and Humro to flag field-tested items that were problematic last year for one reason or another. Perhaps a question was too hard or too easy. We then had content experts from across the state come in to decide whether to remove or edit those questions. Following that process, all items will go through the same workflow new items go through, and that work is currently underway. KDE content experts, as well as content experts from around the state, will convene to work on those items. A bias review committee will check the items for bias, all before they are reinserted in the test this fall and spring. You will also notice at the bottom of the slide there is a link to resources our low incidence consultants across the state have made to share with teachers across the state. These are instructional supports that can help in the day-to-day education of our children. Please share these valuable resources with your teachers. Now that we have covered the new changes for the upcoming year, let's turn our attention to the layout for the assessment trainings. The first training that we always should mention is the Administration Code and Inclusion of Special Populations Regulations training. Both of these trainings would be required for anyone who administers the alternate Kentucky Summative Assessment. This year, the Overview Attainment Task training will release on August 23rd and must be completed by November 15th, November of 2021. Any teacher who will administer the alternate Kentucky Summative Assessment must take this training. For any high school teachers that will administer the Transition Attainment Record, or what is not commonly known as the TAR, they must complete that training as well. The TAR training will open on September 27th, 2021, and will close May 27th, 2022. So as we noted on slide 3, the TAR will be released September 27th of this year. It is required for all Kentucky alternate assessment students at grade 11 and takes place of the state-mandated ACT for alternate assessment students. The TAR is made available to students at grade 12 who may not have reached the benchmark of 19 in reading, 16 in mathematics, and 16 in science on the grade 11 attempt. For any student who stays past grade 12, what we refer to as grade 14, those students may also attempt the TAR if the benchmark has not been met. The TAR training and administration is set to open September 27th, and it will remain open until May 27th of 2022. On slide 5, this demonstrates the TAR assessments that will be administered this year. This year, the TAR will change only for grade 11 students with the new Kentucky academic standards, or what we commonly refer to at KDE, the current Kentucky academic standards that are going live this year. The TAR will look the same as the last 3 years at grades 12 and 14. This slide represents the changes over the next 2 school years. The former assessment standards mean the TAR is based on the TAR we assessed the past 3 years plus. Now that we have discussed the TAR for the 2021-2022 school year, let's take a look at the Attainment Task administration. Just a few reminders to share out. The first, as noted on slide 2, is that we will conduct an operational field test this year. It will be a part of accountability, and it will remain 2 testing windows. So here on slide 7, this focuses on the content areas that will be assessed at the elementary level. One thing to note here is that many schools have different grade configurations. So your school may not be a 3 through 5 grade span. It may be a 3 through 6, a 3 through 4, The 3 through 5 grade span is just used at the state level, and that is how district accountability is represented. On slide 8, this reflects the current content areas being assessed at the middle school. And here on slide 9, this looks at the high school content areas to be assessed. If you will note in red, grade 9 and grade 12 no longer have attainment tasks administered to those grades. In high school, only grades 10 and 11 are assessed. So now let's talk about testing windows. The operational test will still consist of 2 testing windows. Testing window 1 will open November 15th and run until December 20th. During this window, there will be 15 items per content area that will focus on one specific group of standards. You can find which standards are tested by checking the grade level standards document on the KDE website linked on the PowerPoint. Each of these grade level standards are broken down by content and by grade level of what will appear in window 1 and window 2. The window 2 assessment will open April 18th and run until May 27th. During this window, there will be an additional 15 items per content area. Once again, consult the grade level standards document on the KDE website that's linked on the slide. You can find which standards are assessed during this window by consulting these documents. They are broken down by content and grade level. Materials will ship and arrive based on the timeline shared on slide 12. Materials for window 1 are expected to arrive in the district sometime the week of October 26th to the 29th. For window 2, we will continue to offer options, as we have in the past, based on the concept that spring breaks will still occur this year. In early March, districts will be asked to select shipping option 1 or 2 based on when they will take their spring break. Materials for window 2 in the first option will ship the week of April 4th, and window 2, the second option, will ship the week of April 11th. Slide 13 shares the proposed dates for 2021-2022 school year. As noted in the past, these dates may be subject to change due to circumstances beyond the control of KDE. For instance, if COVID necessitates a closure of schools again, this could change our timeline. This is outside of the control of KDE. I'm not going to read all of the dates to you, but I will highlight some of the key ones. You will notice that the Attainment Tasks training and the quizzes will be open on August 23rd. Anybody assessing the alternate assessment must take those trainings. You will also notice that the testing window for 1 for the alternate assessment opens on November 15th and closes on December 20th. And also the SRD will open for score entry on November 15th. Then you will notice that the testing window 2 officially opens on April 18th and closes on May 27th, and the last day to enter scores in SRD will be June 3rd. The TAR administration will end on May 27th, and it will open on September 27th. So for any questions that you have regarding the information shared in today's presentation, please feel free to email me at jason.howard@education.ky.gov or KDE DAC information listed on this slide. Feel free to call 502-564-4394 at any time. This concludes the back to school updates for the Kentucky Alternate Assessment, Alternate Kentucky Summative Assessment. Thank you for your time today and for everything you do to serve the students across Kentucky. It is through your hard work and dedication that any of this is possible. Have a great day.